Well, good morning. We're out here on the water. It's a beautiful day. Today we're going to test run the Samaki lures. Not sponsored, none of that sort of hoo-ha, just generally enjoy using them. And a few people have asked, give us an idea on how you can use these lures. Today what I'm going to start with is the smaller, the little 70mm one. They obviously go up into the bigger 125 that are used for barra. What I find is with these lures, there's a number of different ways. What I'm going to do this morning is work a bank. It takes a little bit of getting used to because they do drop, but you're basically pushing them into the mangroves, and then it's a quick retrieve out, lift out, then let it drop straight down the front of the mangrove roots and the snags till it gets to the bottom. What happens is the fish will either hit it as it's coming out of the mangroves, or you'll find that as it drops down on the front of it, you'll feel the thump, and they'll just pick it up and you go from there. So it's a really good way of sort of just prospecting, I guess, just starting out. If you don't know an area, just go along and finding spots. Trolling them, grunter really like them as well. The only thing you've got to watch if you're in an area where there's toads, they can be devastating. So I always find if you get a toad, just change over to something else. Yeah, generally they're a great sort of lure to get an idea of what fish are around. You don't want them just dragging on the bottom, but you just want them so they're just staying as long as possible in their faces, and then hopefully the results are there. So let's get into it. I know you've got the sun, I'm trying to block it out, but let's get into it and we'll see how we go. That didn't take long. We could settle him down. So it just goes to show, you just plug along, there's nothing there, it's just mangrove, bit of mud, bit of sand. Not the biggest one, but it's a good start. Little grunter, come out, nailed it. Little javelin fish, you can hear him grunting away. And back he goes. Okay, so there's a second fish of the morning. Just popping it along out near a snag. He's seen it, little mullet. Easy breakfast. So nice little dusky flathead to start. Maybe 55, 60 centimetres. So happy days, let him go. Just remember, after each time, like I got lucky with him, didn't have it down his mouth, but just check your leader. I'm only using 20-pound leader this morning. It's nice and clear at the moment, so got to be a little bit gentle, but check your leader. Tie another one on and hope for the best. Just put a cast in the mouth of the creek over there and boomba, couldn't resist it. This is a pretty good colour I find too, this, excuse me, but it's got the chartreuse. They seem to really pick it up well, and it's definitely one if you're going to get a couple, put in your kit. Works well. So nice flathead. Let him go. We might go up the creek. The tide's dropping off now, and we'll see if we can find maybe jack or a black brim or something different. Mangroves, we'll go over and have a look later, you know, at what, you know, I'm talking about. You know, the fish will hold in shadows, they'll sit up right on the edge, and that's what you got to do. You just got to get them to come out, and then as it drops down onto that sort of more of a muddy, sandier bottom, bang, I just pick it up. It's a black brim. You know, I think they're a little bit underrated. They're great fun fish when some of the bigger fish aren't biting. And hopefully if we work along here we might just find a couple more, but he's nailed that little samaki. Well, thanks to a wayward cast, I've come over the bank and give you an indication of, you know, what I was talking about as far as casting in. So as you can see, like, you've got the sticky mangroves that basically roll down, and then on the edge just here, this is a sort of area that, you know, you want to try to get your cast into it, just on the edge. And you can imagine, if you look at the profile of the bank, that's basically what it's going to be doing under the water as well. So if you can cast it in on that edge, do those hop so the lure doesn't get down into the tangle zone, I'll call it, and that's enough for the fish. They're going to be sitting just I can probably show you. You can see even down in that one there, like the toadfish and that just hovering. It's the same thing with the brim and the jack and bits and pieces. They'll just sit in and under those snags and in around this area, and if they see something that looks like, you know, might be food, and they're hungry enough and they want to beat their mates to it, they'll come out. So jump, you know, jump it out and then let it drop. So once it's out of that tangle zone, let it drop, and just on the edge, and we'll call that, you know, the strike zone. That's where I get a lot of them. You let it drop down there and it just sits on the bottom, and you'll see your line just go dead. Then it's just a lift, not a real sharp lift, but just a lift to make it the thumper tail flutter, and then hop, lift, hop, and just do that, and that's where you'll find that you'll get the strike. So we'll get back to it and see if we get a jack. Maybe, you know, this is not a bad little area. As we come down here, we've got some nice snags that we've got to work, so just keep going and see how we go. So there's a nice specimen of an old black brim. Is an important one to actually mention with these. I've got caught out a couple of times, so I no longer remove the hooks while holding on to them, because what you'll find they'll do is these are so, you can see from the girth of him, they're a solid fish and they just have a tendency of wiggling backwards, and next minute that lure is in your hands. So I recommend putting them down to remove the hooks, and that's what we're going to do now, and we're going to get back into it and see what we can find. There we go. Wind's really picked up now. It's almost getting to the point where I've got to concede defeat, but a little flathead just on the edge. There's a little creek out here, and just got to work. Sometimes those runoffs, I'll be sitting there just wanting to feed. So it hasn't been a bad day, you know, can't complain. Probably only a couple of hours into it now, and we go back soon and have some brekkie, and yeah, happy days. Showed you the old thumb in bum, but there is another way you can hold flathead. You've got to grab them in behind the fins here, hold them tight. I like to tip them upside down. It must mess with their equilibrium a bit there, so they kind of just go into a bit of a dazed state. I guess they're obviously meant to be living the other way up, so you know, just must basically knock them out for a bit. Seem to hang there all right. Flip him over. Nearly ready to go back. There we go. Well, I'm going to call it a day. That wind's just got ferocious. Got to love meteorologists. It's got to be the best job in the world where you can get it wrong so many days. But anyway, gonna go back, have some brekkie. I hope that helped. Anyway, it was a bit of fun, you know, get out there and you know, use a lure that hopefully, you know, when next time you go fishing, you might be able to sort of you know, improve your catch. But that's the idea, is to just give you a look at how those samakis worked, and yeah, give them a go. They come in all different colours. Probably the most successful is just that natural one that I started with at the start that looks like a mullet, you know, that golden chartreuse. The orange works well, but yeah, whatever you feel comfortable with. Don't use them around toads. That's a good lesson there, and enjoy your fishing. So.